Yeah. What's up? And welcome once again to another episode. As always, I'm your host. I'm Will Bryant. And we're back at it this week with part 2 of my conversation with an old buddy that I hadn't seen in a long time, Josh Wagner. If you guys were here last week, then you know he's a man of a lot of stories, and he's done a lot in his life so far. We talked about his start in radio, how he even met Dee Snider from Twisted Sister doing that, how he transitioned a voice acting gig into a stage acting gig, how his first time ever on stage involved full nudity, which was kind of nuts, how that acting then took him to Scotland for the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, how that led to him buying 2 barrels of Scotch with his family, and then like 15 years later bringing that very Scotch to my crib here in Bushwick, Brooklyn, New York, so that he and I could taste 2 different types of Scotch on this very podcast while recording an episode for you guys. After drinking, or while drinking, copious amounts of Scotch, we then got back into his life as an actor, and even got into how he feels like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the athletic, I guess, foray he got into after hockey, which we also spoke about. He talks about how BJJ saved his life. You know, sprinkle in some fun conversations about how we used to work together at Paragon and had a great time in the hockey division. Honestly, it made for a really fun 2-hour conversation with him. But here's the thing. We weren't done. No, we weren't done by a long shot. I told you I had the best of intentions of keeping this conversation about an hour and a half to 2 hours long. But life had another plan. As Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park likes to say, life finds a way. And life found a way to keep me and Josh talking and gibbering and jabbering for almost 2 more hours. And you know what that way was? I'll tell you what it was. It was Scotch. It was a lot of Scotch. Because let me tell you, I've never drank that much Scotch in my life. But being able to drink the very own name brand Scotch of my guest that he brought, that he invested in over a decade ago, nearly a decade and a half ago, to have that Scotch grace my podcast, how could I turn even one sip down? He was gracious enough to gift me 2 small bottles of the Scotch that we were drinking throughout the show. And even though I barely remember what we talk about, I went back and listened, and it was a lot of fun too. We get more into BJJ, his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background, how he even went as far as making an app to help people train for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. At least I think that was in this part. If not, it was in part 1, and you already heard about it. In that case, good for you. We then talk about the entire reason he's in Brooklyn, or in New York, I should say, in the first place. He's taking his acting to the next level and actually producing his very own one-man show. He's the creator, the star, the producer, the everything. He's doing it, and he's going all in. And that took us into an actual unexpected foray into a different type of conversation, where he actually reveals that he is medically diagnosed with a level of autism. He's somewhere on the spectrum. I believe he called it ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder. I admittedly have very little knowledge and am quite ignorant to most spectrum disorders or most things that involve autism in general. So the fact that I had a good friend visit and willing to be wide open to educate someone like me, it's something that I do not take for granted. It's something that I'm very thankful for, very honored that he was willing to do with me. So that's something we go into in this episode as well. He educates me, and hopefully in turn educates some of you on at least one type of affliction with autism, and how that not only affects his everyday life, but his life in acting as well. Besides that, thanks to the once again, copious amounts of scotch that we drank. For sure, we get a little silly in part 2, and it was nothing but welcome because we had a great time doing it, and I hope that you guys have a great time listening to it. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, my friend, actor, scotch maker, medical educator, and just dope-ass dude all around. Here's my conversation, the finality of it at least, with Josh Wagner.
I'm so excited for Christopher Walken and Dune. Dune's one of my favorite books ever.
I've never read, I didn't see Dune, none of that shit.
Anyway, we'll talk about that another time. I'm sure in DMs or whatever.
All right.
But
I'm not going to lie, I have very little interest in Dune.
I understand.
Maybe I should have more interest.
It's
What
okay.
were you going to say?
No. So as we were talking before, so I made an app.
Yes. Yeah.
I made a
jiu-jitsu app, right?
Yes. It's called Roll Buddy. And so the idea is
available on
Roll
Buddy
on the Play Store and on the App Store. Yeah. So
Play Store is like PlayStation?
No.
No,
Play Store. It's Google. It's Google. It's Google and Apple. The only two that matter.
Don't laugh at me.
So yeah. And the thing is, it's free. It's just ad supported, and I'm kind of like it's been a thing for a while. In that like it exists, but the idea is so many people come into an open mat situation or a situation where it's just a training situation where they go, I don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. Analysis paralysis, as we were talking before about the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
It is a thing, it exists. So what if you tapped a button and you had 2 choices instead of 5,000? Mm-hmm. Oh, do a Kimura 10 times. Just the hold, nothing, just have to hold it. Just get to that position 10 times. You get to that, then you go to a list and you check it off. Check that off the list. Then you go to another, then you do another thing. You check that off the list. Then you can go to your coach and say, this is what I've been working on. This is what I've been doing. This is what I feel comfortable with. Then you can have a more intelligent conversation about how to level up, where you're going, what you like to do. It's simple.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like there are so many apps like that exist for working out where you just log what exercises you've done on a daily, weekly basis. But you just made one for jiu-jitsu, essentially. Just log the stuff you should be working on.
It was the choice. It's the choice that's important, right? So you look at something and you're like, I'm not going to do a rolling loop choke. I don't feel comfortable with that, or I don't know it exists. Mm-hmm. But there's something else like, oh, I can do an armbar. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool. And I have it separated between belt levels, but they're mostly like situational.
Got it.
So once you get to brown and black, it's more like, well, where did I put my, here we go. Here's my phone. Let's just pull it up right now. Don't worry about that. So yeah, like brown and black belt, that's an ad. That's an ad. I get pittance from Google from this. Thank you. Thanks, Google.
What do you mean?
So yeah, ad revenue is a whole
thing.
It's just ad supported, but it's like we're talking
dope.
like pennies.
Unless I've yet to make a single
use
penny from this podcast.
Okay, bro.
It's a labor of love,
It is a labor of love. That's the thing. Until
a
point where you're like, oh, okay, this can get me a tank of gas. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah,
That's it. That's all
the goal, huh? Yeah.
But really, like it came from a place of like, I want people to get better, so that I have to get better. It's so selfish. Because I want people to download this app and use it and get better that I can smash the shit out of it. So like a brown belt one is like hold top position for 3 minutes before sub attempt. Right? So that changes the idea. Now we'll go to a white belt one. Hold mount for 2 minutes 10 times.
You know what's great about your app? It will definitely
look.
It will and don't worry, I'm probably going to be able to put a actual screenshot of what your app looks like, but let's just get
Roll Buddy.
Yeah, of course it didn't lock in.
It's fine.
But no, don't worry. I got a way to put this on video.
I know
but
you do.
what I like about your app is that you've taken this like new era of achievements.
It's this big, and then you shrink it down to this. Now, further on achievements, right?
Well, what I was
You're
saying
right.
about what achievements like you have this gamer like lifestyle, right?
Yes,
Where they're
gamified.
like I want to hit this achievement, I want to hit that achievement, and you're giving them achievements to hit. I've actually played the UFC PS5 game. Like I love that game. I don't really play it that often because I don't really game that much anymore.
So that's what the list looks like.
There you go. You're going through levels. You're going, and there's a lot to go through. So, like, to beat the game essentially takes a lot.
Yeah.
And if you're into jiu-jitsu and you're into the logistics of it, like just getting through what you think you should know, it sounds like this is a nice, just little guide for what you should be working on, or making sure you're working on the right things as often as you should be, you know, because I've got to believe that there are jiu-jitsu practitioners out there that the first time they hit an armbar, they're like, well, I got that. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Nope.
Right. You got to hit it 10 times at least
Yeah.
in that situation to even have an idea of what you're doing.
Exactly.
And you're here, dude. Sometimes it just takes visual representation on your phone to let you know you haven't done enough.
Well, not so much you haven't done enough, but you're on the right track.
Well, that's
You're
a
on the
much
right
more
track.
positive way of looking at it. Right,
you're on the right track.
You're on the right
Like,
track. Keep
going.
going. Keep going.
Don't stop.
Right.
Because that's the thing with jiu-jitsu, right? Jiu-jitsu's like this weird equalizer, right? And if you let it crush you, it will. Oh my God. So there was this guy I used to train with. His name was Kanan. I love Kanan. Kanan's such a good dude, but he's a beast. Dude's like a black belt in old school Taekwondo. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my God, to hear him talk about the old days. Whew. But he's a little bit younger than me. But yeah, he's crush, destroy, finish them, whatever.
Yeah.
And he is a jiu-jitsu monster. Basically, he was the first person that wasn't trained by the old black belt at that old school.
Yeah, yeah.
Kanan was like Christian's first like student. And he's
The first dragon.
yeah. And kind of. But he's legendary at the gym just because he's Kanan, and we all know it. And he has a specific style, and it's smash, 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 but with crazy good technique. But he's still smashy.
Big guy?
He's pretty big. He's pretty big. He's like 6'2", maybe 210, 220. He's a strong guy.
I want to get back to something that I think it's what started us off on this BJJ conversation.
Sure.
And
which you've had a few jiu-jitsu people on your conversation on your podcast, which I think is great.
Yeah. I recently had my old high school football teammate who turned into a pro MMA fighter.
Yes.
And he trained with Gary Tonin.
No kidding.
Yeah, he went down to Texas and trained with him right before. Literally, right. He was one of the 4 people that this New York the Renzo Gracie Academy in New York.
And I have a connection to that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is one of the best academies in the world. They sent
true.
4 people over to Texas to train with Gary 4 weeks in a row. And my buddy Rocco went down there and was I think the last person to train with him. And then Gary had a match in 1FC, and he won in the first fucking round.
I'm sorry. 1FC that's the future.
You know what I love about
It's the
1FC?
future.
They have no weight cutting, which I think is the way
It's
to
the
go.
future, man.
Yeah.
Dude, well, did you see Mighty Mouse?
Oh, yeah.
With his, was it Sencha? I don't know. It was
when
a
he
Muay
won
Thai
with
guy.
the fucking knee to the face.
But it was a
and
Muay
knocked
Thai
out.
guy. And he's like, we're going to do 1 round that's stand up. We're going to do 1 round that's jiu-jitsu. We're gonna do 1 round that's
Wait,
stand
did
up.
they agree to that?
Yeah.
I didn't
It was
know that.
it was one of his fights.
Didn't know that.
And I'm like, that is where it's at, because there is grappling in Muay Thai. There
I
is
love
this
the flexibility
it's
of 1FC.
Absolutely.
One event of 1FC will have MMA fights and kickboxing fights on one card, you know?
And then straight up jiu-jitsu.
Yes,
The
yes,
Rotolo brothers. Okay. You want to see some crazy jiu-jitsu? the Rotolo brothers, they've been training since they've been out of the womb. Again, at Atos with Andre Galvao. These dudes, they're twins. Ty and Cade Rotolo.
Okay.
They are exceptional. They are exceptional. I don't have any other words. But yeah, I think one of them, I can't remember which one, the larger haired one, is in 1FC, and I keep seeing stuff on my feed all the time, and it's just like, how are you doing what you are doing? This is it all it does is grow the sport in a way that's just like, if 1FC didn't exist, that couldn't happen. Right. And it's great. It's great.
I love 1FC events, when they happen live, it happens at like 2-3 in the morning. So it's really tough.
Because Asia, bro.
Yeah, obviously. But I try to catch as much as I can.
Because it is special watching it live.
It's
special watching it live.
Yeah, whether it's any sport, if you don't watch it live, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm glad you even brought that up. Yeah, the fact that you're here and we're talking about BJJ, like, you're not even, like, I literally just, when this comes out, it'll probably be 3-4 weeks ago that I spoke to someone about the exact same thing.
So Henzo's, right? So where I'm training now is an affiliate of Marcio Stambowski.
Okay.
For most people, no one knows who Marcio Stambowski is.
Nor do I.
Marcio was one of the Sinister Six. So Holz Gracie, ROLLS, Holz Gracie, gave 6 people their black belts. Holz Gracie passed away in like a freak accident.
What was the accident?
I think it was a hang gliding accident.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a freak accident.
Holz Gracie. Okay, go on.
So Marcio, also known as Makaha, which stands.
Heard that name.
Yeah, he's the Makaha.
Yes.
So Norwalk, Connecticut Norwalk Fairfield is where his headquarters is. Mm-hmm. I train in Colchester, which is literally on the other side of the state.
You're absolutely right, by the way. Died June 6, 1982, hang gliding accident.
I would hope so. I would hope I would remember that.
At 31.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I have heard Marcio say some stories about the Gracie family and how Holz was the guy.
The guy, huh?
The guy. Hickson. Oh my God.
Because Hickson was always Hickson's the guy,
great.
Right?
Hickson is great.
Because Henzo was the one that won UFC 1 and 2.
No, that was Hoyce.
Oh, excuse me, Hoyce. You're right. Henzo is his brother.
Henzo's a cousin. The thing is,
Henzo's the one that really franchised it. You're right.
Henzo, his legacy in Japan. Henzo crushed Japan until Sakuraba. Sakuraba was the Gracie killer.
Yes, which, by the way, he adopted as his nickname. He would be introduced as the Henzo killer.
The Gracie killer.
No, excuse me, the crazy killer. Yeah,
the Gracie killer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The only reason why I know so much about Sakuraba is because he ended up bleeding into wrestling.
That's right. Yes, he did. So, yeah, there was a whole thing. And, but Marcio... And his son is Neiman Gracie, who fought in Bellator. Also very good, very nice, very sweet guy. So Marcio, he's older now, but still a font of knowledge. Mm-hmm. So incredibly, like, when you've been doing it for that long, mm-hmm. like just having a conversation with him about jiu-jitsu stuff. Because like one day he would go to do a seminar on our side of the state, and it was like belt promotions and stuff like that. But he would like teach legit simple things and literally show. He's like, okay, put your hand here, put your hand there. You don't have to do anything else. Okay. Because there's these dudes who are white belts. They're like gripping. Yeah, he's like, no. Yeah. That's it. And every single time it's like, oh, I feel it. This is wild. I don't have any words to really describe it, but good dude. excellent guy. If people are listening and they have the chance to train at Gracie Sports in Fairfield or Norwalk, do it. He's a good dude. But again, he's one of the Sinister Six. There were 6 people that Holes Gracie gave their black belts to. And to hear Marcio tell stories about the Gracie family and like how he like being a part of it, and Hickson and this is just fucking wild. Like I feel like because I've gotten in with certain people and it's like I'm on the cusp of like that. Oh no, you're cool. Like, because, you know, I've been brought into that. Oh, you're jiu-jitsu. Like, even Marcio was like, you move like you're a featherweight, but you're really big. Yeah. I was like, yay. And then I was like, hey, Marcio, this is my old coach. He goes, oh, he's real good. And I was like, Andre Galvao. And he goes, Galvao gave him his black belt? I was like, yeah. Where did he train before that? And I was like, he trained at, oh my God. I was in Vegas. I can't remember his name. Shit. Anyway, but Christian's like training has been crazy. And he goes, so you learn from him? I was like, yeah. He goes, okay.
And that matters.
It matters a lot
huge in the world of BJJ.
Sort of. So like lineage used to matter a lot more than it does now. It's more so like, where did you come from the last place? So like, I came from a small guy teaching small guy jiu-jitsu to a big guy, and here I am.
Do you feel like you need to learn from a big guy?
Sometimes, but not so much. Part
of me feels like if you learn from a little guy and learned all that technique, but that when we're able to just use your big guy fucking moves, wouldn't that be the best version of you?
Sort of.
I don't know.
So yes.
Speaking of someone that cannot fight for shit.
So you're not wrong. But like smaller guys have to use their pressure different ways. So it's like they have to amplify their pressure, right? If you show a big guy how to amplify their pressure from a small guy, it's like exponential.
Can I ask you something? I'm gonna actually.
Can you?
Can I? It's my show, so I'm gonna ask you something.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Listen, Josh, I'm about to ask you.
Holy shit!
Let's say you and I don't know each other, right? And we're in some altercation at a bar.
Okay.
I
love it already.
What would be my best point of entry? How would I have a chance?
Make me laugh.
Against
Make me laugh.
No. I'm not using my comedy.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Make me laugh.
No.
That's the only way that you're gonna catch me off guard is to make me laugh.
No. Let's say we're already in a fight. We're about. You know what? It's already done. Our girlfriends have been disrespected. Wait,
have they disrespected each other?
Oh, you know what?
Or are they
The only way you and I are getting in a fight is if our girlfriends fucking ruin
the day.
So we, as two dudes, turn to each other and be like, our day's a ruin, our night's a ruin. We gotta do this, right? We just gotta do it.
Mark was the Queensberry rules, sir.
Because I have this fucking.
Damn, this reminds me of my life. Just falls down.
It just flops down.
That's what happens when you're 40s,
Blue
man.
Chew hymns.
That's what happens when you're 40. The next thing you know, you're like,
I don't know. I have this fucking fairy tale where like I'm going up against a big ass bouncer and I come in with a fucking like Imunari roll and just take out his leg or whatever or some shit, and like if that's even possible, like
excuse me,
yeah, don't look at me like that. It's possible. Like,
okay, we'll live in that world. We'll live in that world.
Fucking piece of shit. So
okay, if you want to Imunari roll me, great.
Someone my size will never be able to take you out.
No, that's not true. That's really not true. That's truly not true. You can't.
Feed my fantasy. Right. Tell me, what is the one scenario that I would be able to take you out? Maybe.
Okay, well, take me out or get me down. There's a difference.
Well, get you down, but then also like be the victor. Like not just take you down, but like take you down, maybe put you to sleep or
Okay.
Brick limb. Like.
What time of year is this? Because this is important.
Fuck, dude.
Just we're gonna say like this time of year.
Sure.
Okay.
Tomorrow night.
Double pant grips.
The fuck?
I know.
Double
it's stupid.
pancakes?
Double pant grips. So, okay, you're gonna see my feet. This spot right here.
Yes.
Right. This is a pant grip. If you grip here.
Okay.
Right, and you have this grip.
Yeah.
And you can control me. So if you literally go down, grab my pants at my ankles, step back, and pull. Wham! I'm gonna fall flat on my back.
Huh.
Flat on my back. Now, if you lift those legs up and lift my hips off the ground, you can literally
fuck you in the ass.
Well, I mean, if that's what you want to, it's fine. But you can. But for real, like you can literally direct my legs anywhere that you want to go.
Huh.
So, boom, hips lift off the ground. You move them to the side, and then you can circle around the back. And then if the person doesn't know what they're doing, they're probably going to do this.
Yeah.
And then you could straight up take the back, and if they're wearing a coat, grab a nice lapel grip, and then you can grab this and you choke them.
So
Done.
So done. How about this? If someone with me, like with nominal knowledge, if I went up against a big guy like you that had no knowledge, let's say you're like just
double.
Just take him down right away, right?
Straight at the kneecaps. Put your shoulder into one kneecap.
Because if you don't know
scoop the legs, scoop the legs, bang. And the thing is, if you put enough force behind that, it's enough of a shock to where it like the blast. That's where it's called blast double. Boom.
And getting someone that doesn't know anything about grappling down to the ground is pretty much.
It's very easy.
Yeah.
It's very, very easy.
Yeah.
Now, if you really want to get like fun and sassy with it, you just choke them while they're standing up, just looking right in your eyes.
I don't think I have the height for that.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Oh, really?
Because it's not about height. It's about placement. It's about hand placement.
That I know about hand placement, but I don't know about the angles of. You know what it is? Because I've never done it competitively. I don't know how to counteract whenever someone fights against it.
So this is something that's really funny to me, and I talk a lot to white belts about this. Stop thinking so much. And the thing that I love,
by the way, probably true for a lot of things.
Wait for it. So I did some work at UCB, the Upright Citizens Brigade, and
Yes,
one of the things, they have a whole thing, and it says don't think. We think too much as people. We just do. We want to do. Oh, I was trying to this. There's one guy, I love him. He's a good dude, but he's like, well, this is what I was trying to do. And the other day I was like, what you're trying to do is ineffective.
Right.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Not because of the amount of effort, just because physically it doesn't work. Like when you put your chest to chest on someone that's on the ground, all they need to do is turn, and then they've swept you. And now they're on top, and that doesn't work. Yes, you're heavy. But you're not perpendicular.
Right.
If you're perpendicular, you're holding them down. If you are now parallel, it's just physics. That's all it is. So I was like, bruh, we gotta go back to high school. We gotta figure this shit out now. But yeah.
I think this is another beautiful moment because apparently you have the bladder of a man and I have the bladder of a child.
No, I'm getting to a point where it's my time.
Do you want to go?
No, you know what? You go first.
All right.
You go
What we'll
first.
do.
And then I'll do another
You already
fill.
know what you're doing.
I'll do another fill.
filling time.
I'll do another fill. I'll fill more time.
Filling,
Oh my God.
imaging,
Well, let's talk about imaging. I'll talk about an audiobook that I did where I was Jason Statham. It was actually this was an Amazon thing. The book was dog shit. The book was just not good. And man, oh Manischewitz, this dude, he was nice enough. I don't think I made any money from that, but I basically was like, the main character is going to be Jason Statham. Done. I'll take a moment, ladies and gentlemen, about the Scotch. You can't buy it anywhere. I'm sorry. I truly apologize. You cannot buy it anywhere. It's mine. If you want to drink with me, I'm happy for that. You just got to send me a DM at Big Rev. What is my Instagram handle, yeah, I'm happy to share some with you. But yeah, at the end of the day, take account of where you are and who's around you, because it's important, And if people aren't sparking your joy, fuck them. Fuck them. Now it's my turn.
Go ahead, I'll be the filler.
Now you fill.
I'll fill.
You fill.
Oh,
you
man.
fill. You fill. Figure some shit out. Fill it.
Man, I used to record podcasts on my own for an entire motherfucking year straight. I don't need no motherfucking guest. Actually, I don't even know what he was talking about. But doesn't he have such a better voice than I do? Like, in general, his voice is just so much better than mine. I had this thing when I first started podcasting that I was like, I have such an annoying voice. My own friends don't even like listening to me. Why would I want to put this out for people to download and watch? And then I've had a number of people come up to me and be like, you have such a good voice. I'm like, what are you listening to? No, I don't. My voice is terrible. It sounds stupid. And you're an idiot. That's all I really got to say about that. Oh, let me throw in Dave, if you're listening. Ready? This one's for you. Fuck. What was the line? Yeah. Honestly, I probably had a little bit too many scotches to remember what the line was. Never mind. Dave, go back to sleep. Don't pay attention. No one gives a fuck. You know what's funny? This is the first time I've ever done a podcast in the AM. We started recording before PM. And it didn't help me be any more responsible at all. Which is what I kind of fucking dig about this shit. Is that I don't give a damn about being responsible at all.
Time is just a confidence trick invented by the Swiss anyway.
You know what? I'm going to ignore that convoluted fucking sentence you just said.
It's not convoluted at all. It's facts, bro. It's facts, bro. It's straight facts. Straight fire facts, bro.
Dude, all right. So we've barely touched upon the fact that you are an actor. Like, you started off telling us about how you kind of got into it with voice acting first, right?
Yeah.
And then you went to school, and that got you into theater.
Yep.
When I knew you, for sure, when I met you at Paragon, you made sure to just kind of establish yourself as like, yeah,
That's what I do.
I'm an actor. I'm an out of work actor, but I'm an actor. And
I was an auditioning actor.
Correct.
Like, I'm out. Like, hey, if I got to take a lunch break to go do the thing, I'm going to do the thing.
How long have you been on the actor grind?
Oh, Jesus. At this point, it's 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the auditioning process? Because isn't that the worst part of it?
It's changed significantly in the time that I started. So when I got to New York and I was living the life and I was doing the thing, living an artist life. Oh my God. It was great. I would get, now when I was at Apple, it like kicked up to another level.
You're acting?
Yeah. Well, at least the auditioning. So I was at a point where
Why is that when it kicked up?
I don't know. I think it was.
Were you surrounded by people that were into it more?
Yeah, but I like kind of settled into having a manager and freelancing with a whole bunch of.
You hired a manager then? No.
So I did some showcases.
Okay.
And then managers and agents came up to me and they're like, we want to rep you, but we want to freelance rep you until we know that you can do the thing. So until I moved to London, I was auditioning for 5 different managers.
Wait, what does it mean when someone says I want to be your freelance manager?
So freelancing is essentially, I didn't sign a contract, so they're not responsible for me.
Okay.
Because if you're an agent and somebody signs a contract, then there is a level of financial responsibility that they have to take on to help support you. If you're a manager, that doesn't exist, and then they take a bigger cut. but that's another thing. There's like levels upon levels upon levels. We'll talk about that another time. So yeah, I was freelancing with a bunch of different managers and a bunch of different agents to try and like just penetrate and get in there. And I got some really great gigs. And then I did the show What Would You Do?
Oh wow.
With John Quinones.
Yeah.
Fucking guy. Fucking guy. I did like two segments with them, and then my
segments, like, does that mean like two different scenarios?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of them, it was the bad pharmacist in this place in Woodbury, New York, in Long Island.
Okay.
And they had to cut a couple of my pieces because
what were you playing?
So I was a person who was getting their prescription filled.
Okay.
And the pharmacist, Tracy, she was a plant. And she was like, Josh, your IBS medication is ready. Please come to front desk. And here I was like, why did you say that to everybody? So like we would have to do the situational stuff, and then we'd see what people's reactions were.
So you were the plant to see what other people reacted to?
Yes.
Okay. Was it because was the what would you do scenario, the basis was that your medical information was being put out there?
Yes. It was basically how people dealt with a bad pharmacist employee.
Because in case people don't know, What Would You Do is a show, ABC, right? ABC has a show where John Quinones, who really started off as like a
he was a
journalistic like reporter.
Oh no, he's like a serious,
a
legit serious journalist.
He was one of these journalists that just got like a pitch to a show and became like the host of it. Like it almost, it reminds me of a little bit of like Chris Hansen on To Catch a Predator, but like he's doing What Would You Do, which is like it literally, ABC would literally just record
people's reactions,
staged really awkward segments where something's going like off or awry in the like social atmosphere, whether it be like someone treating a server poorly at a restaurant, or someone being they would touch on like racism, sexism, all these things. And you're telling me you're on one of these shows where the premise was that a pharmacist was being a little too free with medical information.
Yes, basically saying fuck HIPAA and just broadcasting over a loudspeaker to everything. Yeah.
Were you given?
I was the funny guy.
So were you given any directives onto how to react to that?
They would. The thing is with reality TV in general, that kind of situational stuff, I had an earwig in, and sometimes the producers would say this.
Oh, really? They feed you lines?
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't necessarily feed me lines. I didn't see it as they would feed me lines, because I'm listening to the person I'm speaking to. So I wouldn't say exactly what they wanted me to say.
Got it.
I would say something that was the same feeling for that moment, rather than like, say like
your version of it.
Right. But something that didn't feel out of context, where someone would go, am I being watched? Am I being watched?
Right.
Because that pulls somebody out of it. And that's a whole nother level. Like, that's a whole nother level of like understanding the situation, understanding timing and this and that, the other. But that was one of them. The second one was at a Fairway.
So you did multiple episodes of. Okay, cool.
I did 2 segments.
Was that like, did they enjoy your work so much on the first one that they invited you back, or were you like immediately signed for 2?
A little bit. So it was mostly like, oh my God, you're so much fun to work with, and this is great. And that's kind of like how theater works.
That's done.
Yeah, right. You're like,
you work with
I'm
someone,
not a piece
they
of
like you.
You're not a piece of shit. Yeah, come on back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were literally driving back from Fairfield, Connecticut, back to Manhattan, and I was like, hey, they're like, yeah, we can't wait to see you next week. And I was like, I'm flying to London next week. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So it was like at the moment that things were really starting to go is when I went. And I tried to make it work in London, but it just wasn't the same. And I wasn't there for long enough. Like, that's the thing. It's the putting in the time to meet people, to hang out with people, to understand people, and like, oh, you're really cool. I'd love to work with you. you get what I'm trying to do. Come on in, rather than like, oh, you're just a body, you know? But yeah, it was a whole situation. Loved London. I loved spending time there. The travel that I was able to do from London was fantastic. Would I have done it a different way? 100%.
When you say you went to London, this has nothing to do with the Fringe Festival at all. Like you were just going on some other shit. And
so
my
ex actually, so her dad is English, so she had UK citizenship, and she got hired. She used to work for a very large broadcast company here, and then Bloomberg hired her and was like, "Oh, you can do this job over there," and they move people like they move furniture. Like it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. So they're like, yeah, well, we'll wait until your husband has like, we'll do the citizenship and visa and blah, 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 blah. So I got my visa status all set up. And then once that happened, they're like, you've got a week. So I was like, well, my whole life is being turned upside down.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I had a week to straighten that out. And then we stayed in the Upper East Side for a month. And then they shipped everything, including a cat, to the UK. And yeah, but again, it was a bad, great experience, and that's about as far as I'm going to go with that one.
I understood. And you've had this topsy-turvy, up and down relationship with acting,
Circuitous.
And the reason that you're here today is because you reached out to me, telling me that you were going to be in town looking for venues.
Yeah.
And it shocked me a little bit.
Really?
A little. No, not that. That part didn't shock me. But when you told me it was for a one-man show, that felt a little shocking to me.
Really?
Only because I am such a coward. And whenever
fuck you.
Whenever I hear someone taking a courageous leap, I'm always like, wow.
No, fuck you. Somebody take a courageous leap. Here I am doing a podcast, basically just showing my life to the world. I'm a coward. Come on, man.
I am the coward.
Stop it.
Listen, this is not courageous at all. I get drunk in front of you guys once a week. There's nothing courageous about that, dude.
I don't know. Maybe it's because we literally have known each other for 10 plus years. And granted, I haven't seen you.
Right.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time I have seen this gentleman in 9 years.
Is it 9 years?
It's 9 years.
Jesus
9 years.
It does not feel that way.
It doesn't feel like 9 years.
No.
Well, because social media is what it is, right? Yeah. Like, I see you doing the things, and I see you you post things when you're going to shows.
You've also been one
100%.
of the people that I've connected on social media where I just felt like I knew we'd see each other again.
100%.
And the fact that, like, look, dude, we're 2.5 hours in. There's no part of me that is surprised that it's going this well. When you agreed to be on the show, I was like, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great.
Yeah,
because you're just a fucking easy guy to talk to.
I'm not here to ruin anybody's day. Ruin
my day. But going back to what I was saying is that you remind me of my cowardice in a way, because you're doing a one-man show. Am I wording this incorrectly?
Nope, not at all.
All right, let's fucking
talk about that. You really want to talk about this?
Oh yeah. That's why you're here in New York, even, right? Because you're
kinda, yeah.
You grew up in Connecticut, but you're a Philly guy now, right?
No, I live in Rhode Island now. Technically.
Why were you ever in Philly? Did I fuck that up?
No, I was in Philly for a hot minute.
Okay.
I was in Philly for a while.
So then after Philly was what?
So what happened was, when I was in Philly, I was working in literally the ivory tower in Comcast, and then COVID happened. Okay. I got COVID, it was before you couldn't get fired for COVID, and I got fired.
Huh.
Because I got COVID, but we didn't know it was COVID.
Wow.
Oh, dude, brain fog.
So what was
everything.
their reasoning for you getting fired?
It's just not working.
Wow.
I don't think you're, like you did a presentation and it really wasn't doing anything.
Got
I was
it,
like,
yeah,
and I even told my boss, I was like, dude, you gave me notes. I can't, like, there's something going on right now. I don't know what's going on. And I did a teledoc thing, and they're like, yeah, we're going to prescribe you some, like, like it might just be sinusitis because I sleep with a CPAP.
You do. You have sleep. You have sleep apnea.
Hell yeah, brother! Oh my god. Honestly, that shit saved my life. Like that legit
machine
saved my life.
Really?
So now here, when I was training, I trained with a bunch of doctors, jiu-jitsu. I reached out to my friend Carl, and Carl was like, wait, so you sleep with a CPAP? That's a ventilator. What do they put you on? I was like, prednisone. So steroids. We were prescribing people that exact thing in the ER when they would come in when it was COVID-like symptoms before we could give tests. Mm-hmm. I never got a test initially. And I was like, I got COVID, like got it. I thought I was going to fucking die.
Bad.
There were times when I would walk down my stairs to drop my trash off, like just in the front, and forget that I was even in that room, like even in the stairs. Like, why am I here? Oh, dude, it was a whole thing. Jeez. I got let go from that, and at that point, I was like, well, our family has this vacation home in Rhode Island, and I don't want to get my parents sick because like my dad was not in a good place, and my mom was like, just move there, move your shit there. So I did, and I've been there since. Okay. So yeah, that's where I'm.
Rhode Island.
Yeah, but it's literally like I could cross a brook, and I'm in Connecticut.
The fuck is a brook?
Oh my god!
What is a brook?
You don't know what a brook is?
Like water?
Yes, it is a.
To me, a brook is like water over rocks.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's a small.
I know shit.
Water over rocks.
I know shit.
It's like there's a river, there's a tributary, there's a brook. That's it. It's just the water going over rocks. That's it. But like where
I'm a nature man.
Where
I'm the
Long
nature
Island,
boy.
basically where Long Island ends. Yeah. That's where I am westerly.
Wait, Stony.
Right,
I went to Stony Brook University.
Stony Brook is not all the way there, but it's close. You're close.
Could it have been based off of Stony Brook?
No.
Okay. Thank you for.
You're welcome.
Squashing.
You're welcome. I'm sorry.
All right, this stupid one-man plan of yours. Whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you want to know about it?
Okay, so you're the reason you're in. All right, you're a fucking Philly, Connecticut, Rhode Island boy.
I have lived a life,
and you're here doing a podcast in Bushwick, Queens. Oh my god.
Oh, all right.
That's the Queens.
And now
boy.
I'm gonna send you out of your own house. And we're out. And there it is.
Damn.
Bushwick, Queens.
I'm born and raised in Queens. I'm sorry.
Do you realize if you
shut up,
people would come.
You're not. Your mic is taken away from you. Shut up. You don't get to talk right now. Shut up.
People would come for you. They would come for
you.
Yeah,
they probably pull out really fast.
Hey, it all comes around. Hey, high five. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. See, bring it around.
First time hosting.
Yes,
not
your first
hosting.
rodeo.
Yeah.
Not your first rodeo.
So, it's weird because whenever people ask me like, oh, where are you from? Yeah. And I'm like born and raised in Queens. They're like, oh, you're a native New Yorker. I'm like, yeah, but I've lived for like 3 years in Bushwick.
Yes.
But if I would have just ignored the first part and just been like, oh, I live in Bushwick, they'd be like, oh, you're probably from fucking Iowa or some shit like or whatever.
Yeah, right? You're from Iowa.
Which makes sense because my girlfriend is from fucking Siberia and she ended up in Bushwick too. So
amazing.
Yeah.
That's kind of amazing.
You know what's fun about dating a Siberian chick?
She's legitimately from Siberia?
Yes.
Oh.
Like legit. Like when I ask her like, oh, you only know like snow and ice. She's like, no, we have buildings. And I'm like, no.
No, you don't.
Yeah, no.
You don't.
My favorite things to do with her is showing her Americana. So like she had never seen The Sopranos. She had never seen The Wire. Yeah, like
oh my god.
The day that we watched the final episode of The Sopranos, she just turned to me.
That must have been heartbreaking.
She turned to me and she said, You just ruined television for
is.
me. And I was
There
like,
it is.
you're goddamn right.
Yes, I did.
Yes,
You know what? No, that's when you stop and you say, no. That wasn't me. That was HBO. That was HBO.
It's so she just looked at me angry. I'm like, I'm sorry for exposing this.
Okay, now on the flip side, does she like say stuff in Siberian or in Russian where you're just like, what are you saying? Like, does she say stuff like suka bliat?
Doesn't that mean like fuck you bitch or some shit like that?
The thing
Suka blood is like suck bitch or
it's
something.
the
Like,
thing
fuck,
with
fuck
the
bitch.
thing with Slavic like slurs and things like that is they're so encompassing. Just be like, oh my god, it's so good. Just be like, bliat. If just say that randomly, she'll probably giggle.
Pissed. My girl gets like annoyed when like I use the 4 Russian words that I know ever.
Okay.
And I'll just be like, yeah, perestroika.
Ah!
And she's like, I think you just said like build. You said building. Like that doesn't
He
mean-
said, what are you talking about?
And like her mom will be listening like on a video, and she's like, "What? Oh, he knows Russian?" and my girl will have to be like, "No, mom, he knows one Russian word. Like, don't listen to him."
knows.
And I also know like just bad words like or whatever. But like,
As you should. I'm sorry, man.
it's whatever.
So
You know what? My girl doesn't know a single bad Spanish word like at all. So
it looks like you need to get it in the workshop, brother.
yeah.
So Italian. Let's talk about Italian for a hot second.
Let's see it.
So my grandfather had a masonry business in Watertown, Connecticut, and
What the fuck does that mean?
that means
I know
he
what a
had
mason jar is.
He had a masonry business.
What is that?
So he would.
Thank you for repeating it again. Now explain.
It was a business. It was a straight up business.
Masonry
So at a business. So what he would do was, he basically would go to different sites, and sometimes it would be like flagstone, sometimes it would be like concrete. His company did a whole bunch of stuff in Connecticut.
Just gonna pause. Just in case you guys think that I understood what flagstone meant, I don't. I'm just gonna let him keep
shit.
talking. Go.
God damn it, Will.
No, I'm not.
See, this is what happens.
I'm not a man.
So flagstone specifically is a piece of stone that's usually thin.
You know what?
It's made
honestly,
for walkways.
Honestly, we don't give a fuck.
But it's
Keep
made
going.
for walkways. Like it's
Great,
it's
great story. Keep going.
It's important. It's kind of important because I've broken my fingers on flagstone many times.
So flagstone's the
shut
fucking
up.
thing. Blah blah. Go on.
My God, I'm gonna eat your heart.
Go on.
Well, my
This is what
grandfather.
normally happens towards the last hour of the podcast, is where we just like lose control. Yeah, exactly.
No, I totally get it. I mean, you're drinking fucking single malt, just having it,
It's
having a
your
go.
own. You brought me your own malt.
Mine. It's mine.
Yeah. How am I not gonna drink this?
Of course not, right? It's so hard. Like, it's.
By the way,
honestly-
I wanted to talk about your one man show, but you're like, no, let's talk about this instead.
All right. Let's circle back.
No.
Let's circle back. Honestly, we'll circle back. You're right. Yeah. So let's talk about the one man show.
We should.
It's a one person show, and the person is me. Yeah. So when I got diagnosed with the autism thing, with ASD specifically, Autism Spectrum Disorder is what ASD stands for.
Say it again.
Autism Spectrum Disorder.
ASD. Okay.
Yeah. There were a lot of things that just
I never knew what that stood for.
Yeah, there were a lot of things that just kind of fell into place.
Wait, can I ask you just real quick?
You can ask me anything.
When you were diagnosed, did they give you specifics as to like why they like? Were there moments where you were like, oh shit, I do that, or I do?
Okay. So let's talk about the process of the diagnosis.
Please, because I have no idea about this.
So I reached out to a company and I was like, hey, you guys do diagnoses. How can you help me?
Did you think that you might have been on the spectrum on some level?
Bruh. Again, and I fucking love-hate TikTok for this. Love-hate. Because the way that the algorithms work, there was just so much that was pushed towards me that I was like, if I don't do this, I don't want to live in my own world where I'm like, well, coulda, shoulda, woulda.
So TikTok literally,
it
forced
helped,
you.
It
your
helped.
hand.
It helped me go. There's like, yeah, I'm autistic and blah 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 blah. blah. I was like, well,
Did you just see autistic videos on TikTok that made you
at a certain point, yeah,
question shit?
It really made me question things, and I went, all right, you know what? Fuck it. I have the time, I have the opportunity, I have the money. Let's just fucking do it. So I reached out to this company, and I was like, hey, I spoke to their screening person. I was like, look, I don't know, but I was diagnosed with ADHD at this point, and this happened, and I'd really like to know, because there's too many similarities between things that I understand that are autistic traits versus this traits versus that traits. Yeah. I just want something that makes fucking sense, because nothing's making sense right now. So I got paired up with a clinician, and the clinician is like, give this form to someone who's known you for 5+ years. I gave it to my mother.
Okay.
And then give it to someone who's known you for 5- years. So I gave it to somebody who I worked with, who I've only known for a year. Mm-hmm. And then you fill out this form. So all 3 people, we filled out the form, sent it back into him.
Wait, can I ask this form? What kind of questions did it have?
It was mostly like 1 to 5 multiple choice questions.
Okay.
Like for me, I can't speak to the other ones. It was like,
oh, they were different.
Yeah, they were different.
Oh.
They were like similar questions, but
Oh,
like
okay.
it was like
So
how
you truly have no idea what they saw.
no idea
Got it.
what that.
Got
but
it.
the clinician then after that he goes, okay, so I got all 3 of these forms. There is enough like things. There's enough things that make sense to where we can move forward to the interview portion. So I did 2.5 hour interviews with him, where he would ask me questions and I would answer the questions. Mm-hmm. They were like super. I was not expecting the feelings that were brought up. He's
really?
like, and when this happened, how did you feel? I felt a burning passion inside and I wanted to destroy everything around me. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, I was like, I didn't know that was going to happen. Sorry, man. He's like, no, that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, like it was a whole thing. It
brought shit out of you weren't expecting.
I was not expecting so much of it. And then at the end of it, he was like, I asked him before he actually finished writing his whole like synopsis. Mm-hmm. I was like, what do you think? He's like, you are incredibly self-aware of what's happening, of what's going on around you. There's something there. Let me crunch the numbers, quote unquote, the numbers. And I'll get back to you and we'll figure it out. It's like, okay. So a week later, he gives me this like 3-page breakdown of all of the data. And I was like, damn. He's like, yes, you have level 1 ASD.
Is that like the highest form of it? Or
No.
Is that the lowest form?
No. So
the
thing,
you're the best type of autistic.
you're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. We're the best around. So there's essentially, oh man, I tell you, Scotch works wonders. So the thing with ASD is now, maybe it was different in the last 10 years, but there's 3 levels of it. The first level is you can support yourself. You can dress yourself, you can feed yourself, you can do everything. Level 2 is you need some level of support. Whether it is someone helping to make food for you, someone helping to dress you, someone helping you to do this, but you can still like go and work and do things. Mm-hmm. Level 3 is you cannot exist without someone helping you. You cannot. Now, again,
do you believe that?
So the nonprofit that I work for works with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I literally see that every day.
What do you mean?
So the building that I work in, there's a lot of like programs. So like people come in and do day programs. It's basically like daycare for people with IDD. And there's people who like vocal stim, and there's someone right next to them whole time. They're walking around the building and they're just like, ah, ah, ah. And there's just somebody just hanging out. It's like, yes, Amy. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's the thing. And that's just their gig. It's their job. But you know, these people are people too. Like that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Right. And it's wild to think like I'm adjacent of that, far enough away, but like them's my people. And it's weird. Like you walk by and they just like, there was this one guy and he every single time I saw him, he would just put up his hand and I would walk by and I just high five him. No verbal, nothing.
Yeah.
I got it. He got it. It's just the way it was. And it's just like sweet people. Sometimes it's tough, but it is what it is.
Is there ever a part of you that reflects on that and wonders what your life would have been if you were deeper into the spectrum?
Yes. But what is more prevalent is if I was diagnosed sooner.
Oh.
Because
you think that would have helped you out a lot more?
Looking back on my life, I've had meltdowns that I didn't know that were meltdowns.
Emotional meltdowns, yeah.
Life-changing. Just your entire life is ended in that one moment. And how to understand that with other people.
I hear you though.
Like there was a moment where I was having a really, really hard time. I was working in Danbury, Connecticut, and my wife and I at the time were living at my parents' house because we just moved back from London. We hadn't moved to Philly yet. And both my mother and my ex-wife were pushing me to do something, and I was already burned out from work, and I straight up had a meltdown. I like took things out of my class, throwing things on the floor. I was like, I don't fucking care. And I was scaring myself, but I couldn't stop myself. I couldn't. I was like, it was almost like there was a vent that needed to be bled. And it was just like, I need to get this going.
Yes.
This needs to happen.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I was like, oh yeah, everything's fine. Everything's good. I'm good. Everything's fine. And my ex-wife and my mom are like, are you sure?
Right.
I thought you were going to eat us with a fork.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if I had known that I did have that, and I was on even the edge of the spectrum, and having the tools that I know that I have now, that might have happened a different way.
Sure. Yeah. I get that. So let's drink some more. So.
Also, you good on time?
Yeah, don't worry. I'm very cognizant of what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
We got it.
Just checking.
There's a chance that this might be a 2-part episode.
Oh, shit.
But
you can get me tomorrow. I'm here. I'm still
no,
around
don't
tomorrow.
Worry. We'll get our 2 parts in tonight. But now that we're up to this, this is where I think it's a great opportunity to go into the fact that I told you this entire sidebar happened because I told you I felt like I was a coward in terms of opening myself up. And here I am inviting you into my home, and you are about to embark on a one-man show, and that scares the shit out of me, and I'm not in the show.
Bruh.
There's a reason you're in New York, right?
Bruh.
You're like scouring venues and shit.
Yeah. So
all right, tell me why you're in New York. What you're trying to book. Just let's get into this shit. Let's get into to exactly what's going on.
So, yeah, okay. Why I'm in New York? I mean, it's New York. It is what it is.
You always have an excuse to come here. Yeah.
Always have an excuse to come here.
I guess in that aspect, I'm a little bit spoiled because I'm always here. So
no, dude! When you're inside the bubble, it's totally different. When you leave the bubble, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's two different things.
You love New York and you miss New York?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Every
Because
day.
you're someone that wasn't born here.
But I was always close by.
Yeah, 100%.
Always close by.
Tri-state area.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Yeah, so 90 minutes from my parents' house to 42nd Street. So we would come in, we would go to Broadway stuff, and then we do stuff in Manhattan for sure.
Dude, when we worked at Paragon together, you even though like I knew you were like a Connecticut kid, like I was like, nah, this dude's like a downtown Manhattan kid,
bro.
Like,
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like
you're
when
the liberal arts dude, like you're
100%.
You're a theater kid, like you would just blend in with everybody here.
But that's the thing, right? So to just to kind of move to the left of the question that you asked, for me, assimilation is important because of it's not my life, it's not my culture, right? So like my culture, I didn't grow up in New York, and I feel like it's super important to respect that. But at the same time, give reverence to that. So, like, yeah, you grew up in Queens, right?
It's incredible that you say that because I've never thought about that, about, like, when I think about you. But whenever I have memories about you and me 10 years ago.
Right?
There's never... I'm stuttering because it makes so much sense. You were literally one of the transplants that never annoyed me about being a transplant. Like you were just so cool about being like, yeah, I'm from Connecticut. I'm from I went here and I went there.
Yeah.
And you were just so fucking...
Hey, bro, let's go to this place.
You were like
let's go to this place. Have you been there?
You were water.
Have you been there?
You were like
I
water.
haven't been there. Let's go. Let's go have some wings.
Exactly.
Let's say, hey, have you been here? No, let's go. Oh, you need to go to this place in Queens. I went to the place in Queens.
If we said, hey, you got to come with us, you'd be like, yeah, I'm down. Let's go. Like, yeah, you were like water, dude. Like, not to get too off topic.
Bruce Lee's my Jesus.
Okay.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Be like water, my friend.
Yeah.
Be like water.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's super important to me in general. Like even when I moved to London, people were like, who are you? I'm like, show me. Just let's go. Show me. They're like, you're not an American. I'm like, yeah, I'm American, but I'm not like American.
Right.
So whole thing. So yeah, like the whole thing with doing the show and where I'm at right now is like I got this diagnosis, and it's so weird.
Did it rock your world at all, or were you like, yeah, that makes sense?
Yes, and yes. So it rocked my world. It was like, are you fucking kidding me? I could have lived my life with all of these other tools, with all of these other things. I could have like navigated without this crazy ass circuitous route. But at the same time, I was like, but it was this crazy ass circuitous route. I was like, this is a pretty great story. Well, it's weird because I'm high masking. I'm this, like, you would never know that I have these traits unless I would say it, right? So like that's where the spectrum is. And the whole level 1, 2, 3 makes so much sense now. It makes so much sense now. Because here I am, like, yeah, I'm level 1, but like, ADHD is a thing. Like between the ADHD and the Autism Spectrum Disorder, they kind of weirdly intertwine where I'm at. But once I got that diagnosis, it was like the planets aligned in such a way where I went, shit makes sense. This makes sense. And this meltdown, I understand why that happened. I understand why that happened.
I'm going to cut you off a little bit just because I want some more clarity on this.
Cut it off.
The moment you were diagnosed, you felt like better defined?
Bro.
Really?
it was like,
Did you feel less lost at all in your life, or like what? How did that moment? How old were you when you found that out, and how did it affect?
it was November 17th of 2023.
Wow, this is a year ago.
Less than a year ago.
It was less than a year ago.
3 months ago.
Wow.
It was almost
So you were
like
diagnosed with a level of autism less than a year ago.
yeah. And the thing was, it was like literally somebody turned on a flashlight when I was in a cave. That's what it felt like. Yeah, I know. That's what it felt like, because like there were so many moments where I was like, why am I so mad at this?
I feel
don't
like
know
a lot
why.
of people would think that if they learned that about themselves, they would be upset. You were relieved.
Holy shit. Relieved? That's yes.
Understatement.
Holy fuck. Sorry.
Suddenly,
I don't know if it's okay to swear on your podcast.
Fuck, shit, cock, motherfucker, dick, cunt. I don't give a fuck. Let's go.
So but that moment was, it literally felt like somebody put a candle in front of me when I was in a cave, because there were like, it's weird, like because of the way my brain is. There's things that I will never forget, and there's things that don't gone.
Yeah.
Right. And then I thought about my dad.
Why?
So my dad had this crazy memory where he would just remember certain things, things that he was hyper fixated on. So, all right. I'm trying to be very cognizant of time.
And what, in terms of how long we're going?
Yeah.
Don't worry.
No, in times of your hard stop. I know you mentioned something. Are we okay? Are we good?
We're good. I will stop you when I need to stop you.
Fair enough.
We're good.
So my dad, he has vascular dementia right now.
Okay.
And part of that was because he had a triple bypass. Now, vascular dementia is when the blood vessels in your brain just basically stop working. He was known for his encyclopedic knowledge of housing law, of housing things. He was a grant writer, and that's being very, very general. But he was also like a character witness in many, many things in DC. So they would call him as like a subject matter expert. They'd be like, so blah 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 blah. That's incorrect.
DC.
Oh yeah.
Oh
man. The housing, like HUD. He was like best friends with everybody in HUD, because they were like, well, you know it all.
Yeah.
And everything in Connecticut, like he was the guy. He was the guy.
You mean DC, like Washington DC, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my dumbass was like, DC Comics.
DC Comics, the Joker.
No.
I mean, honestly, he could have been Penguin.
Right.
Just saying. I have feelings about Penguin as well, but about the new Penguin.
Totally debauched that.
Anyway,
I'm going to go to the bathroom. You got another 30 seconds.
Another 30. We're just 30 seconds.
Just 30 seconds.
Will. Come on, brah.
We're going to come back and we're going to wrap it up with
rap
your one-man show.
Oh, jeez, man. Anyway.
You still don't have to pee. Oh, you peed already.
Yeah, I did once.
Yeah, fuck you.
You're 4. That's okay. It's not an insult. Bladders are what they are. Like, why are we mad at that? We shouldn't be mad at that. There's no reason. Like, you gotta go, right? Like, it's fine. You know? Are you talking? Yes, I'm talking. Sorry, Dad. I'm talking. I'm talking about bladders. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We should be understanding of how we are. I'll tell you what, though. That's a fair bit of the creature. I'll tell you, it's interesting. Like, maybe I'll top it up with the bourbon. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'm sure he's going to listen to this and he's going to edit it back. But I feel very fortunate and very happy to be here. So thank you for sharing this time with us in this moment, in this time. Oh, God. I'm such a sentimental fool. I mean, I could do. I'm Jason Statham. Thank you for spending this much time with us. It's very nice. I like it. Thank you. It's so nice. He's back from peeing. He's back from urination. Across the nation.
You know what? I appreciate you for filling in the void
Hey, man.
with your fucking accents.
That is what I exist for.
I appreciate it.
Okay, so one man show time.
Yes.
Bang, bang, bang.
Wait,
yeah.
no, hold on. So you
fuck,
do
man.
not live in New York, but you're visiting me in Bushwick. Well, not
Yeah.
me, but you were visiting New York to your scouting locations, right?
Scouting. I already had a place that I wanted to look at, so I'm actually going to that place today.
After the show.
Right
so,
after.
So it's for a one-man show?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Ooh, buddy.
Who, buddy? Yeah, that's goddamn right. Yeah. What in the world made you want to start a one-man show?
Because I'm a fat white guy that thinks he's too mediocre for a podcast. Flat out. No one wants another guy like me doing a podcast.
They
You know who you are.
They probably
Who's watching this? You
would.
know who you are.
I bet you there's people listening to this episode right now. They'd be like, I'd listen to an hour of him.
No, and you know what? that's great, and I appreciate that. But I also
Have you ever thought about it?
a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got an OnlyFans. At Spicy Audio.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
You have an OnlyFans?
I do for a Spicy Audio. You're gonna have to DM either he or me, but that's
We'll put
ladies.
the link.
Hey,
We'll put
anybody.
the link in
Hey.
the show notes. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So here's the thing.
Wait, hold on. What the fuck is your... No, fuck that. I don't even fuck it. I suddenly don't even put my head. What the hell is your OnlyFans like?
No.
You can't just drop
No.
that.
Okay. All right. So
What's on your OnlyFans?
all right. No, it's when I say
Dick
spicy.
pics and
It's Spicy Audios.
tits.
It's Spicy Audio. I was hanging out with one girl, and she was like, "You have a really great voice.
You do.
You know what? You should do it." And I was like, "You know what? Done." And I was like, "Okay, cool. It's free to make it," so I did. And then I actually got back into writing poetry, and like it's almost like a place for me to put performance poetry. So that's kind of like what I did with it. And then some of it's spicy, some of it's not.
Are you using it like ASMR type of stuff?
No, I'm not. I hate ASMR
You hate it.
on a level that's not okay. It's not okay. Will, it's not okay.
I'm sorry.
No. Don't be sorry.
sorry.
It's not okay. It's not okay. ASMR is not okay. My brain does not.
ASMR is not okay.
ASMR is not
I
okay.
thought your level of hatred for it was not okay. No, you're thinking that ASMR is not okay.
Two things can be true. But let's dial it back to
Let's digress.
to
So
the
you're
one-person
in
show.
town because you're scouting locations.
Yeah. So I've narrowed it down to one group that has many venues. There's one venue that I really like. I'm gonna go check it out today, and if it's not the right feel, right vibe, there's like one or two that are gonna do it.
Wait, so you have backups that are already in place. What are you looking for when you talk about right feel, right vibe?
The right feel, right vibe is, for me, safety. Like that's the number
Like
one.
legitimately, like security at the doors or some shit. Like
No, like the feeling, because honestly, somebody walks in with whatever they're gonna do, they're gonna do it. Like that's not. It's me walking in and looking across and feeling like that. Like
Okay.
I feel emotionally, this is the spot. I can do it. And it sounds so dumb sometimes, but like it's a vibe. Yes, it indeed is.
It is. Right?
It indeed is a
yeah,
vibe.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to walk into a space and then I feel like literally there's a pole in my asshole. Like I don't want that. Like I mean, some people do. That's fine. God bless. But not me. I want to walk into a place and just understand what's around me, assimilate that, and go, yeah, I can say what I want to say, and it's all right. So yeah, man, it's weird that, especially when it's like your words, your time, your feel. It's crazy.
So you have already this, I don't know if it's a script or...
I have written a piece that is about 35 to 40 minutes long.
Okay.
That's it.
So your show is about that long?
Yes.
Okay.
No intermission. Bang.
In and
That's
out.
That's it. Well, because no one wants to go to an off-Broadway show that lasts 5.5 hours.
Yeah, you're probably right. What is the show then about?
It's just some fat white guy telling his truth.
It's an is it autobiographical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
you have a title yet?
I don't.
Working on it.
That's what's tough. Because I don't have a title. I don't have a flyer. I don't have a flyer. I don't have posters.
Do you have a date you're aiming for?
I'm shooting for the first week in April.
Okay.
This
episode will be out in time.
That's fine. Even if it wasn't,
it is. And by the way, just so you know, like I will be putting out. I always put out like fucking clips of my podcast, but because your show's coming out at a specific time, I will push out videos and links for that fucking
check this out.
timeline for sure.
I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that at all. I'm here legit. I'm here to hang out with someone who I legitimately haven't seen in 8 years.
Which is what's happening, which is pretty dope.
100%.
Yeah.
And when it comes to this whole thing, I don't care if anybody shows up.
Yeah.
Like what happened with me and my ex, what happened through my life and the diagnosis and understanding my spicy brain, no one can show up, and I don't care. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's because I've had the opportunity to perform in places where there have been hundreds of people. It's not for them, and there's this weird dichotomy of me being like, fuck them. It's not for them. It's for me. Mm-hmm. It's for me to stand up in front of nobody who shows up and just speak it into the ether. Now, I would love it if people showed up. I would love it. It'd be great. Some fat white guy who's been recently diagnosed with autism who doesn't fucking know the world, but has lived in the world. Sure, great, awesome. Or no one. I don't care. I just need to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's really the end goal. Because if I don't, I will be, and I know myself, I will be kicking and screaming until the day that I can't remember anything anymore. That's it. And I don't want to do that. Again, that comes back to my dad, right? So the whole vascular dementia thing, I have been seeing him, I don't want to say detach, but every time I go and hang out with him or my mom or whatever, when they come to Westerly or when I go to them, there's a piece, a small piece that's like gone. Mm-hmm. Another piece that's gone. But then there's other things where he's like, it's locked in and it's there. There's nothing I can do. Remember that time that blah, 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 blah? I don't, but I'm going to roll with it. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't for this nonprofit gig that I've got, I would never have thought to use specific language. Like using language like, did you forget that? Don't say that. Remember the time when? Game changer. And it doesn't seem like it's a whole lot. But then when you break it down to somebody who literally gets on themselves for not being able to remember something, you remember that time when? And you just let them go. It's fucking wild.
It sounds like you, as we're beginning to wrap this thing up, it sounds like you've learned a lot more about yourself
Oh, bro,
through this journey.
26. It's people who have ASD are 26% more likely to have Alzheimer's and dementia.
Is there some part of you that fears that you will forget
Every day.
everything? Yeah.
Every day.
So you being diagnosed with this, do you think that because you learned about what it might mean for you in the future, that it encouraged you to take actions now?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So I didn't learn about that specific statistic until after I was diagnosed. But it makes a lot of sense because my dad got a triple bypass. And I mean, he had like the reason that he couldn't come.
By the way, so did my dad.
Yeah.
So I'm with you.
You understand. It's the reason that he couldn't come to Scotland the first time was because the doctor was like, you can't go.
Yeah.
And that was a thing. And he was really sad. But at the same time, I was like, well, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. It's like, excuse me? Excuse me? Basically, when he was working and he had a doctor's appointment and he was like not feeling well the day before. And he went into his primary care and his primary care was like, eyes wide open, was like, you should go to ER now. And my dad just didn't go.
That sounds like my dad too.
Yeah. And my mom was like,
for sure.
So it was a thing.
Focusing back on you, what did you think? Why did you think I need to do this one-man show?
Time. Straight up time.
What does that mean?
So the one, I feel like the one thing that we fight against as humans now is time. Like that's legitimately the one thing. If there's anything in the entire world that we face is time and the persistence of time. It doesn't stop, right? Yeah. Like if I don't do this now, I might not do it. Mm-hmm. And now is the time. I'm in a place where personally, this is just straight up personally, everyone's journey is completely different. But I feel like for me, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. And I have a lot of things to say. I mean, a lot of things to say. That's a fucking mediocre fat white guy, middle-aged. Oh, I hate that because I don't really have that much to say because we're pretty terrible.
I mean,
yeah. See, look at that. Yeah, we're awful. We're the worst.
Fat white guys go, I guess. But I mean, in general, we all do have something to say, though. That's
right.
the thing.
But that's really it. Like a friend of mine reached out to me.
Part of me is why I wanted to reach out to you is because like you are like I knew that like my episode with you would be for the small little world that I have. I get a fucking. They probably thought I was gonna have like some, like minority, like fucking dudes here.
I'm glad I can be your diversity.
I wanted a white guy.
Thanks for being your
with a beard from Connecticut, bro.
Some fucking purebred white boy.
I wanted a fucking white boy hockey player from Connecticut, bro. And then, but like, I also knew like you. On the surface would be perhaps what a lot of my listeners wouldn't want to fucking hear about. And then when I have you on the show, they realize, actually, this is exactly what I want to fucking hear about, dude.
I want to be the anti-Joe Rogan. Sorry.
There's a reason why I love this white guy so much. I mean,
and the thing is, I hate him and I love him, but I hate him.
I love him.
But no, I appreciate that, man. I really do appreciate that.
I knew you were good. Like when you
just put it out, when you just literally put it out to your social media, I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna be in town. Let's do this. Let's hang. If anything, it was just a moment that we would just be able to chill. And not only that, but you'd be able to use it. Like,
correct.
Importantly,
It's weird how much people just. What I've learned from doing this podcast and having guests on this show is it's, to me, it's surprising how much people just don't appreciate the act of a real conversation. And if I can tell you, hey, let's go hang out somewhere, your immediate thought is, all right, where are we going to drink? Where are we going to eat? Where are we going to watch a show? Where are we going to watch a movie? Where are we going to have something that distracts us from just you and I staring across from each other and talking to each other? But when I tell someone, hey, are you down to come through and do a podcast? Suddenly it's like, hey, are you down to just come and have a conversation with me?
yeah.
Yeah. And that's what freaks people out the most.
Homie.
People hit me up. Like, I will ask them if they're down for this, and then they'll hit me up on the line and be like, I don't know if I'm going to be interesting. And I'm like, I think you underestimate. First of all, everyone out there, you guys all underestimate how interesting you guys are as individuals. Let's just put that out there in the forefront.
I need to stop you right there.
Please go.
This is huge. This is huge. What you're about to say.
Okay.
Because I feel something. This is huge.
Okay.
Please continue. You may want to cut away to this and make this a thing. Just saying.
Oh, like clip for social media.
saying.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm cognizant of that
Saying.
shit too.
This was go. Yeah.
Clip right now. No,
Out.
I ask people to be on this show, and more often than not, people are very receptive to the idea. But a lot of times I get the person that is afraid that they're not going to be interesting enough, that they're not going to be intriguing enough, that they're not going to be conversational enough. And I mean, part of it is just, trusting in me to guide you. But also, that's a nominal portion of it.
And you're the one saying you're the coward.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You're the one. I'm a coward. No. When someone comes back and says something like, well, I don't know if it's going to go over well. No. That's not the point.
Right.
That's not the point.
It's not.
That's not the point. That's not, no. What is the point? It's not for you to understand. Just come in and hang out. Let's talk. Let's do our thing.
I got you.
Right?
I got you.
You're not a fucking coward.
I appreciate you.
Shut the fuck up.
I appreciate it. And you know what? We all need moments like that. We all need moments like that where when we're in our self-doubt, someone outside of the perspective looks in on us and tells you, you know what, you're too hard on yourself. And I appreciate you for that. I get it. I hear it and I receive it. I appreciate I've been told that I'm very bad at accepting compliments. So I'm trying to get better.
Stand up
at
and
it.
slap you? I'll slap you,
not
Will.
Today, not today.
We've known each other that long. I'll slap you.
Not today. I've been told I'm very bad at accepting compliments. So I'm going to try to get better at it today.
Good. No,
and
good.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Good, because I'm going to be flat out. I'm going to be flat out honest. I feel so excited. I feel so privileged to have the opportunity to sit in front of you, who I haven't seen in so fucking long, who is cool with giving some fucking fat, mediocre white guy a platform for a hot minute. Not that we need more.
You're being too humble.
I am being humble, but for real, like this is something that people miss, right? And especially in our society mythos, whatever we want to look at it, like, oh, you're doing a podcast, you're doing a thing. Yeah, I'm doing a thing. But if it doesn't resonate, right? If it doesn't call, if it doesn't feel, if it doesn't come from a place of honesty, like, what the fuck is it? Right? And the whole reason that when you put it out on just out of nowhere in your Instagram story, it's like, yeah, I'll sit down with you. Of course. Because I get to hang out with you. One.
Right.
Big one. big one.
And we
hang out with your friends.
We've wanted to reconnect for years. Yeah.
Literally
the
years.
Crazy thing.
Yo, man, I'm going to be in town. Oh, sorry. I'm doing this thing. So, okay, cool. Next time. Hey, I'm doing this thing. Sorry. I'm not in town.
Yeah.
You know, that's just what happens.
Yeah.
But like, but that's what, like, maybe it is like with this whole like millennial cusp, like take the moment to just go and see people that mean something to you.
We're going to look back at these, by the way, it's 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Boom.
We're going to look back at this time.
You got to 2-part it, 4-part
Oh, for sure.
8-part it.
No, it's definitely 2-part it.
Okay, fine.
But, we're going to look back at this time and be like, I'm so happy
100%
that I did that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like the next time I'm in town, be like, yo, Will, I'm doing this thing. Okay, cool. Or I'm going to be here. Okay, cool. I'll see you there. I'll see you here. Yeah. As much as we can.
It rekindles shit like that. Dude, it happens to us in this world. It happens so much. Dude, we don't realize how many connections. Let's do one more last time. Yeah, fuck it, you're right.
Yeah, no, we're here.
So often, people, we forget how connected we get to one another, and the connections we make with one another. And a lot of times, I think that people that have jobs with people, and the someone leaves and goes to work another job, and someone gets promoted or whatever. I think that people far too often associate a promotion or a difference in a job as a different chapter in their lives, and then now they don't talk to those people anymore. But I don't think that should be the case.
No.
Dude, like, because I look, dude, I met you when I worked at Paragon. I was working retail. I never even went behind a bar for a moment in my life, and now we're talking. I'm a bartender at the Comedy Cellar,
which is kind of a big deal when you think about it.
I
like,
agree. I
comedy.
think so,
well, hold on for the listeners who might not understand, the Comedy Cellar is a place where a lot of high-level comedians will slide through when they decide to. Yeah. And a lot of comedians who are working to be those high-level comedians will work at. Like, that's a level, that's an echelon that people are working for. Okay, understanding that. You have clientele that come in understanding that go, oh, no, I want a drink, and I want it to drink the right way. No, I want the drink the right way. Bang. Right? You're not gonna fuck that up. You're not gonna do that's where you're at. Like, that's what it's at.
Yeah.
It's a level of professionality on all levels.
I appreciate you saying that.
100%.
You're right. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Right? So like, yeah, you could be a bartender at a shitty bar, but you could still be professional at it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I was never. I actually, to my credit, I was actually never a bartender. Cheers, my friend. I was never a bartender at a shitty bar, but
again,
definitely
that's
bartended
objective.
at some busy bars. But like, yeah, I mean, I just going back to what I was saying. Like, I mean, goddamn, like, yeah, I ended up somewhere that was like, damn, we knew each other before I ever got into this industry.
Yeah.
And I honestly, since the moment I stopped, since the moment you stopped being a part of my life, I'm not saying since the moment, but like,
oh,
the moment.
Yeah, you want me? Just get a knife right now.
I'm just
Let
saying,
my heart
fuck
bleed
you, shut
everywhere.
up, shut up. But what I'm trying to say is, like, when we were cool, when we were working together,
yeah, man.
we had a certain lifestyle.
Hell yeah.
And then, dude, we stopped being in each other's lives, and my life changed so much since then. Like, I'm not even in the retail industry anymore, dude. Like, I got fired from that shit, which we're not even gonna get into. Don't worry.
No,
but like,
yeah.
But because I've gotten into it in this podcast before, but like, and I've gotten into how I transitioned from, like, Paragon was my second to last job in the industry. Then I tried to be an insurance salesman for like 6 months.
What the? If I knew that, Will, Jesus, if I knew that, I would have changed your life. I would have changed your life.
The worst. I don't even want to get into it. They're so bad. I made a couple thousand and got out of it right away.
We'll talk about that after.
Next show, yeah.
After.
But then I just saw a fucking
I'm so fat.
classified ad on Craigslist about they literally called it a bartender apprenticeship, which I thought sounded like the most pretentious.
It sounds so pretentious, but I get it.
But that's what I needed, and I did it, and that's what got me to where I am today.
Dude,
Yeah, like
the thing is with like craft cocktails, I hate the idea craft beer. I get it.
I hate it, but I get it, and I love it because I worked with it.
So
yeah.
why are you so fucking
I used to make
pretentious?
cocktails that were like 8-9 steps deep. Like I have to do this and
Absolutely.
then that and then that.
But
Oh, yeah.
it's a cocktail. You don't have to call it craft. Just saying. It's a
There's,
cocktail.
and you know what?
Cocktail.
There's a part of me. I'm a fucking beer and tequila guy, and that's it. And the only time that I'll have a cocktail is if I'm at a bar that like specializes in cocktails.
100%.
Then, other than that, I just feel bad for whoever's
Yeah.
bartending. Like I'm just give me a beer. I don't know.
Yeah. Give me a Shiner Bock and a whiskey. I'm good.
Anyways, hard shift. Do you feel like you're making traction with the one man show?
I don't care.
But is it a no? But is it a realistic like? Is it happening at a certain date? Do you have a date like in mind?
So far, it's the first week of April.
Okay,
I think
next
it's gonna
year.
No.
Oh,
this year.
Holy crap!
In a
That's very
month.
soon.
Yeah, of course. Because I'm ADHD, ASD, it's kind of like if I don't give myself a time, if I don't give myself
you won't do it.
Hard,
Yeah. I
I'll
get
just
that.
Keep pushing it and keep pushing it.
That, dude.
So I've actually connected with a friend of mine who I went to school with, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll record it." And I already talked to him. I was like, "Let's do a 3 camera. Let's do this. Let's do it this way."
It's ambitious.
Fuck yeah, dude. I literally, all the money that I have made from working this fucking job is for this, because
You're putting a lot of your own money into this.
it's all my own money. Like, and my parents are great and they're well off, and my mom is like, "Well, let me help." I'm like, "Mom, no, it's for me, because I don't. It's not about me."
Wait, so you just admitted something that most people wouldn't admit to. Your parents have money.
Yeah.
And you
Oh my God. No, dude. That's the thing with my dad. Like, my dad found this niche in Connecticut he was a grant writer, and he
What does that mean?
So he would write grants for cities and towns.
What is a grant?
Oh man, we could do a whole fucking 3 hours on what
Let's
my dad
not.
used to do.
Let's do a whole
So
30 seconds on it.
So essentially what my dad used to do was he was so good. He understood the state and federal requisitions and knew how to get money from the state and the federal government to make projects happen for towns. So a town would call him up and be like, "Larry, we want to put in a heated sidewalk for our senior center." And you go, "Got you." So what he would do is he would find out how he could get money from the state and federal government, pool that in. Then what he would do is he would bid out all of the people, like contractors and whatnot, and then take the first bid, do that, boom, boom, and he would project manage everything. But he wouldn't take any credit. So the politicians loved him, right? So he would do this. He'd get his retainer, he'd get his money, boom, out, done. And he would, at one point, he had 90% of the state of Connecticut. The thing that made him the thing that made him like retire was the people at the state were like, "No, you're doing it wrong." My dad flat out said, he's like, "I wrote what you're doing." He was straight up like, no, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I know you're doing it wrong because I've been doing it for 30 years. And he was like, "I'm good. Done."
Jeez, dude. So you've been like, dude, like we've talked about you being enthralled in not just fucking hockey and theater and like, you've been enthralled.
You've learned about me, Will. You've learned about me as a human.
So let's wrap it up, man. Let's wrap it up. First of all, before I even get into wrapping it up, just thank you, dude. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this podcast. I really appreciate you coming through. I think people that will listen to this will see that you are obviously multifaceted.
Hey, man. Humans are fucking crazy.
That much I know.
We're amazing.
Most people, actually, now that I think about it, most people that listen to this will be like, fuck that guy. Fuck it. Sounds like a piece of shit.
You know what? I respect that. If
you know what?
I'm a terrible person.
Not for nothing. When I told my friends,
I do a lot of shit, but I'm a terrible person.
When I told my friends that I was gonna have guests on this show, I think they thought that I meant like them, like just them. Like you guys could be on the show. Fair enough. I was like,
Fair enough.
I know better people than you. Okay.
I'm not a better person than anybody. I'm just a fucking guy that is lucky enough. I feel so lucky, like
why?
Literally stepping into shit. Like fucking Gordie Howe came to my front door. Like blah. Like, you know, like I feel super lucky. So a friend that I met through my ex-wife, she is actually the person who was the musical director for Cabaret that was in the West End in London, and now she's in the New York doing the Cabaret revival for Broadway. Like, Jen is amazing, and I'm so excited. I'm like, wait a minute, I know you. You're my friend. This is so cool. Oh my God, I'm so excited for you. Yeah.
She was friends with your ex-wife?
No, well, so
maybe you should have.
So she was friends.
Maybe she didn't have broken up with her, you know? Like maybe.
No. So here's the thing. There's only like one person that I'm glad that my ex has kind of fine. They're happy together. But yeah, everyone else from that time, I was like, yeah, this shit happened. It happened. I'm sorry, but like, I appreciate you as a person, and I want to be your friend. And if you don't want to be my friend, that's okay. But just tell me.
So your one-man show, it doesn't have a name yet, is what you're telling me?
I like a but life. It's coming out in April. Life lived, like that. That's kind of what, because it is rhythm with the tism. You know,
so you're shopping some names right now.
Yeah, throwing them out.
All right. So by the time that I'm gonna try to time the releases of these episodes.
Don't worry about that. That's fine.
I gotta do something. I gotta do something responsible.
Fine.
I'm gonna try to time it around the time that your shows come out, and I will link everything any link that you have.
Okay.
For ticket sales,
easy.
For anything, I will absolutely 100% put it on all my platforms.
I appreciate that.
I will link it 100%. And
you know what? You know what?
Tell me.
If anybody links anything from you, I will bake a brownie.
Okay.
Get specific
brownie.
Don't do that. I'll make baked goods.
Don't do that.
I'm an awful baker. It will never happen. But you'll get a high five. That's all I can do.
I could care. Honestly, I just if anything I do gets you even one ticket purchase, then that's all I need.
But like I said before, I appreciate that so deeply, but that's not the point.
I agree. Know? This was not the point of today. I agree.
You get it.
That's why I loved, because we had a surface level purpose for this meeting, and honestly, we talked for 3.5 hours, and most of it just felt like catching up with a good friend.
Of course.
And that's why I love this shit, dude. The ability that this podcast has given me to reconnect with people that I didn't think I would be able to reconnect with, that's the best part of it. Truly, look, I'm doing this podcast for zero money, for zero fucking, like, I'm not getting paid for this shit. I don't pay any bills with this shit. Not yet. Exactly. But I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. And my favorite episodes are the episodes like this where I get to reconnect with someone that I haven't spoken to in years, and it feels like we've never been apart.
Man, I'm not going to lie. I've seen the stuff that you've been doing on social media. I'm such an advocate. I'm so happy to see you excited and happy. And that's really what it comes down to, right? So like I see you're like, you were at one point you're like, yeah, I'm going to shows all the time. I'm doing this, I'm raving and this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yes. Speaking of which, Orbital is coming to town in March and we should probably go. Just saying.
Let's do it.
Just saying.
Let's do it. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, but let's do it. Let's just fucking do it. Let's just fucking do it.
Okay.
Just tell me what
All
date.
Right. Done.
Just tell me what day
done.
it is. Let's just
done.
fucking do it.
It's done. It's done.
Yeah.
I'll get tickets. It's done.
I'll put the request in and we'll do it.
Fuck your request. Just go. For real. I'm sorry. If you look at your boss and you're like, somebody got me tickets to go see Orbital. Stop it.
We want to go to a show together. We'll do it.
Done. All right. But for real, like seeing all the stuff that you've been into and all this, and like the years, like again, not in Paragon anymore, not connecting day to day, and that's the beauty of social media, but the downfall as well. So like you're able to stay connected, but at this weird arm's length.
Yeah.
And the moment that you were like, yeah, I need guests, it was like, I don't know if you need a fat white guy, but here I am.
That's exactly what I needed, was a fat white guy.
Oh my God. So sorry.
In terms of exactly what I needed, you're going to help me out right now. Because there are times where I do an outro like separated from people, but I'm going to do my outro with you right now.
Sure.
But I have to explain my outro.
Oh, shit.
So I'm going to ask you to plug whatever fucking things you need to plug.
Okay.
And I'm going to plug whatever I need to plug. But also, I have this thing where at the end of my outro,
oh, you got low battery? Booyah!
We're still recording. We're good.
All
right. So, whenever I'm in my outro, my last stage name is I'm Will Bryant.
Yeah.
Bryant. So I always have to go out of my way to make sure people understand what my tag is on Instagram or Twitter or Twitch or whatever all that shit is. And the way that I make sure they know it, and it became a thing, was I would say Bryant, and I would say like Kobe.
Okay.
Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
Because my name is Will Bryant.
Yeah.
So I would be like, you follow me on all these platforms at I'm Will Bryant, last name Bryant, like Kobe, and then I would do this, like
Are you asking me to shoot?
So now this is what's happening on camera.
Oh no!
I'm gonna look at you.
Why hockey players don't play basketball?
Okay, well here we go, hockey player.
No,
I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna point at you, and I'm gonna say like Kobe. You don't have to say it with me. You at least have to throw.
Oh my God, Kobe! So sorry, my friend.
All right, let's see how this goes. This might be the saddest version.
Oh no,
Kobe, I love you.
No,
I'm sorry if he disrespects you. All right,
I'm doing my best, my man.
All right, before I plug shit, do you want to plug anything? Plug your Instagram, plug your YouTube, TikTok.
Yeah, I mentioned it a few times when you were out.
Oh, nice. But do it again.
At Big Rev what? It's because I'm fat and I'm a reverend, and that's
Spell
a
it
joke.
out in case they don't know.
BIGREV what WHAT Instagram and the Tiki Talkies, the clock app. Yeah.
Big Rev what?
What?
So Big
Two what's?
Red
Two what's. Rev.
What?
Yeah, because I'm a reverend.
Big Rev what?
Yeah, did I ever show you the thing? I don't think. Oh, I absolutely did.
Fuck you, put it away. We're not gonna.
We'll do it later. I'll show you later. But like, I have a card. I legitimately have a card.
And now comes the time that you guys all know about. It's when I say goodbye to you guys. It's just this thing I do. And I'm going to point to you, and you got to say Kobe with me.
Okay.
Kobe. Can you say Kobe? Kobe. Right, I'm going to point to you.
I have to say Kobe.
Yes,
okay.
You have to. The moment I point to you. The moment.
Oh, that's all.
The moment I point to you, we're going Kobe. All right. Let's see.
All right.
Guys, I appreciate you guys watching this shit for this whole fucking 3.5 hours. I know it's going to be 2 hours in, and we're going to break it up and whatever, blah, blah.
For real. Thank you.
regardless, you guys already know what part of the show it is. It's the part of the show where I asked you guys to follow me on all platforms, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, aka X, Twitch, Threads, YouTube. It's the same goddamn handle on all platforms at I'm Will Bryant. That's 3 words. I'm Will Bryant. The last word is Bryant. Like Kobe. Thank you so much for being on the show, bro. I love you. And guys, this is all for you. I hope you guys appreciate the fact that my boy was ever able to come through and spend 3 hours, three and a half, almost 4 hours with me, dude.
Time doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Honestly, if you can, do. That's really it. If you can, do.
Can, do. If not, fuck you. Peace.
Get a nice sound on that. Oh man. So which did you like more? We didn't even talk about that.